okay, out of my system, part 2, right? So, that being said, I feel overwhelmed lately. Very, very, very overwhelmed. I feel like everyone wants something from me. I feel like I have to serve everyone, cater to everyone, give to everyone, to an extent where I have nothing left for myself. And I don't even know where to make room for myself. And sometimes it's like just, I don't know. It's like sometimes people don't realize that they have their own part in their own life to do, you know? And I can't do it all for everyone. And I'm not retard that would want to, because I love people so much, especially the people close to me, that I'm gonna be that weirdo that's gonna bend myself in fucking a million pieces to try and have them have comfort before me being able to be comfortable myself. And it's shitty and counterproductive, because then I end up exhausted, burnt out, and it sucks. And now I got a cat that wants to go out. See, this is the thing. This is a perfect example. I'm gonna bring you with me while I go open the door. Cat wants to go out. Everyone wants something from me. And this is the thing. I think sometimes, like, I might, like, overcompensate-ish. Like, I give too much, and then subconsciously I don't always realize that I think it's gonna come back to me, maybe. And I know that's a terrible way of thinking. And I know that is not the way things work. But sometimes I just want to, like, tell everybody to fuck off. Leave me alone. Give me time to recharge my batteries, to self-care, to take care of myself, to just be in my own home, you know? Take care of my home, take care of myself in solitude. I need that. I don't give myself enough in that way. And I know it. And it's just freaking hard to balance. And it's hard to do without feeling guilty and shame. And that's shitty. The whole guilt and shame shit, you know, that I'd say most people carry from childhood. I don't care how deep it's buried. I don't give a shit how deep people's shame and guilt is buried. It's there. It's the collective generational trauma that we're all carrying to some extent. Some people have less of it. Some people have more. Some people hide it. Some people are more aware of it. Some people, it's buried so deep. People don't realize that that's often the common denominator of what dictates every decision we make in life. What we say to people, how we say it, everything we do. You want to dig deep? You want to dig deep into the root of trauma? You're always going to land on the same stuff. Guilt and shame. Abandonment, rejection. Disconnection. Not having a connection with another human. Having the connection thing not properly established. Having rejection and abandonment and shame and guilt. But shame and guilt is lower. It's more at the bottom. Because the rejection, the abandonment, and the seeking connection, if you dig deeper, it's still shame and guilt. Same shit. It's quite the program. It's quite the coding for a human being, huh? It's funny, huh? Because then you develop all these different coping mechanisms to protect yourself from being hurt. And then those coping mechanisms become how you deal with life and the exterior world and every other human you interact with. these coping mechanisms. If you want to compare this to like a program, a software program, trauma is the faulty coding of a human. Coping mechanisms are the workaround to a problem that was never fixed or solved in childhood. And the problems and issues that you end up with in life, especially later when they really start to kick in, well, those are the bugs in the program, folks. Those are the bugs. When you start like constantly being stuck in a loop of either, losing your job, having shitty relationships with people, all the bad shit that ends up kind of just showing up when you're like end of 30s, 40s. When the bugs show up, the bugs were already there. They were always there. The thing is we didn't see them because we developed coping mechanisms, which were workarounds for those bugs. So we coasted by and didn't really fix the coding because we didn't even know there was anything to fix. Stupid coding, right? Essentially, a lot of that, if you want to pile it into a big pile, that's what becomes our persona. When I get into Carl Jung, look up what the persona is. The persona is basically the mask you wear to the outside world. It's basically the false self. Most people live in that false self for a long time before they realize it's even a false self. Your authentic self, that ain't the false self. Your persona, the identity you get attached to, the one that you want to present to the world, that's your false self. That's your persona. That ain't you. That's who you think you are. That's who you think you're presenting to the world, That's who you are with others when you're uncomfortable around them. It's your persona. It's that part of you that you're always trying to keep in line and keep up and hold that mask and keep it going so that other people don't see what's behind it, because what's behind it is fucking scary and even you don't want to see it. I know. Trust me, nobody wants to see the ugly part of themselves. Nobody wants to see themselves as the bad guy. Nobody wants to see that they are everything, that they project onto the world that they hate. That'll destroy you. Not really. But in the beginning, yes, it will. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt to see that you are everything that you judge. Everything you hate in others, everything that annoys you about society, about people, every little fucking nitpicky fault that you can pick up in people, every criticism, everything that you hate that people do to you, that you notice, is you. And that is way too scary to handle for most people. They even get a glimmer of that and they fucking run, head for the hills, slam the door, put up the walls, protect. Self-preservation at all costs. They can't face it because it's too fucking scary to realize you're the beast. You're everything that you fear the most. It's you. And that's everybody's deal. Everybody. Now, there's people that are more aware of it, and then there's people that are so tightly wound up in their illusion that when they get close to it, they run, they head for the hills. And then there's people that it's so deeply buried that they'll never see it in this lifetime. They'll never see it. And you know what? It's okay. You don't have to. The only time when things become a problem, really, truly, is when they affect your life in a negative way that stops you from functioning. That's the only time when stuff really needs to be dealt with. Because I'm going to give the example. Let's say you're going through life and you might have a shit ton of crazy fucking crap buried inside that you don't want to see, don't want to deal with. But here's the loophole. If you go through life and you're, decently successful, you enjoy your life, you like your job, you have a good job, your family, if nothing is truly affected, if you're not suffering from it, leave it alone. Don't go digging. You shouldn't have to. That's why it's okay. That's why it's okay that some people are never going to face it. And it's okay, because they're good, they're fine, they're golden. It's okay. Don't fucking mess with shit that don't need to be messed with. It's when you hit snags. When you're trying to run the program and it's just not running, it's not functioning. Shit's crashing, it's failing. Then okay, you kind of got to go digging for it. You kind of have to. There's no other way around it. You either face it, or shit's gonna keep on failing more and more, deeper and deeper, harder and harder, until you're forced to face it. There is a multitude of levels of this reflected everywhere in this world. It's not just within humans. It's not just within the individual. This is the same damn reflection within societal structures and systems. Everything is a reflection of what we created. Everything comes from within and reflected outward and created outward. That's the way shit works. Literally. So, when it comes to the identity, the persona, the mask we wear, we can get caught up in holding on to that mask so tightly and don't realize that holding up this mask is literally what's fucking up our shit. Holding on to that identity, holding on to that persona, holding on to that illusion is what's stopping us from progressing. It's what's stopping us from facing our truth, from getting to know ourselves truly for who we are. Because the more you explore who you are, the more you just say, hey, you know what, persona mask, you're not really serving me. I'll put you aside for now. And when you really go deep and you really go look at it, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that's fucking terrifying. Yeah, so what? You're going to hate yourself for a bit, probably. It's not really a bad hate, though, if you think about it. You're giving yourself the opportunity to deconstruct what doesn't function and rebuild it in a way that you choose, not in a way that was imposed on you by family, society, culture, friends, whatever you want to call it. You have the opportunity when you take off that persona mask, that identity mask, and you put it aside. You have the opportunity to then become who you want to be and stop holding on to an image of what you aren't. Because that persona and that image, that's only what you see, what you think other people see of you, what you see of you, what you try and live up to. And of course, when conflicts happen and you see that it isn't the same thing as what's reflected in reality, it's mind-boggling. You think you don't know who you are. And you know what? The sad truth is, it's true. Nobody knows who they are really. Because everyone's walking around with a persona mask on. There's times where you need the persona mask. I get it. But I think that's only really useful in times where you shouldn't have to share too much about yourself. And I think it's only useful and valid when you actually know what's behind it. you know? Because if you don't know who you are behind that mask, you're holding on to an illusion. And, you know, when shit comes down to it and you're faced with the inevitable, I need to learn to let go. Now, the whole letting go in life, it's not about letting go of what is real, what is tangible, what is actual fact and reality of who you are, what life is. The observable, what's real. What you think you know of someone else. It's still an illusion unless you actually get to know them. But how can you get to know someone if they don't even know themselves? Paradox. My point being is, letting go isn't about letting go of reality. It's not about letting go of what is and what you have and what's solid. Letting go is about letting go of the illusions that don't serve you. Letting go is letting go of what isn't real. The illusion that we live in, that we create for ourselves, for self-preservation and protection. The illusion that we give to others about ourselves. The illusion that we project onto others that comes from ourselves. And then when people don't live up to the illusion that we create in our mind of them, brain fuck, mind frazzle. We get mad at them because of our own illusion that we created of them, that they can't live up to, that they're not even aware of. And believe you me, if we do that to other people, it's because we do it to ourselves first. As soon as you realize that you do something to someone, the root of it is within you. If you realize, shit, I lie to people. Not honest. Whether it's little white lies, doesn't matter what it is. It's because you lie to yourself first. It always starts with the self, and it's always reflected outward. And detachment and letting go is supposed to be about things that don't matter and don't serve us. Not about things that should and that should be built to serve us and to help us. We should be letting go of our illusions about others, illusions about the world, illusions about ourselves. We should face reality and actually understand reality, understand what's right in front of us, and stop lying to ourselves. Stop illusioning ourselves. Stop holding on to this illusion and this mask so damn tightly. Because at the end of the day, you have a choice. You're either going to hold on to the illusion and let it destroy you and destroy your life and destroy everything around you. Everything you try and create and build is just going to get destroyed because it's an illusion. It's not real. If you get rid of all that illusion, face reality, face yourself, get to know yourself. You're not going to find just dark shit. I'm sorry. I don't care. Shadow work is not just about scary shit. We're not talking about a horror movie here. A shadow just implies that there's no light, that you can't see in the dark. You don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you're looking at. That's all it is. Doing shadow work, you're going to find some ugly shit. You're going to find some bad shit. But you're going to find some motherfucking good shit too. And it's going to be real. And it's going to be yours. And it's going to have you have the possibility to choose what you want to experience, what you want to be once and for all, instead of holding on to an illusion that ain't real. So, Pluto, do your deed. Because you just moved into Aquarius today. Make it count because it's in my 7th house. Opposing my ascendant Leo, 1st house. With my North Node and my South Node. My North Node's in my 1st house. And my South Node is conjuncting Pluto. Let's do it. Let's just let it all go. Not reality. The illusion. Just let go of the illusion. Let go of the false self. Let go of the persona. Let go of the mask. Just set it aside just for now. Let's get to know each other, everybody, on real terms. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't give a shit. I'd take anyone that's authentic at face value, even if they're a dick. I'd take that because it's real over anyone that plays the game of how good they are and it ain't real. Who cares? Pluto's gonna do it for us. And guess what? North Node, it's coming out of Aries. You know where it's going? In Pisces. We're gonna get Pisces North Node with Pluto Aquarius. Now, ain't that gonna be spectacular? Let's have fun with it. Drop the fucking mask.